set of negotiations actually grounded in international law, rather than the current situation, which is basically to talk about the Palestine playground. You know, this is about conflict resolution. We want both sides to make nice. Use your inside voices, boys and girls. This is the attitude. It's conflict resolution as if these were two equal players, as if this was a border dispute between Peru and Ecuador, you know, where you have two countries arguing over where the borderline should have been drawn. This is an occupied population and an occupying country that is by far the most powerful country in the region in terms of conventional weapons, the only nuclear weapons country in the region, the only country with absolute access to U.S. weapons at the highest level and U.S. money and U.S. political support. And somehow we're supposed to imagine that when they come and have dinner together in Washington, that everything is equal and both sides have to make concessions.
Well, not even that. We're supposed to pretend that the Palestinians occupy Israel and won't leave the poor little helpless Israelis alone ever, the poor things.
Exactly.
And so, and look, the point here is that Mohammed Atta died killing Americans because of Palestine. It's as simple as that. I read it in Perfect Soldiers by the, I believe, Vietnam veteran and proud American patriot Terry McDermott, LA Times reporter. This is what they sat around in their apartment in Hamburg complaining about all day as they'd watch Israel in Lebanon and Palestine, and they would say, Americans must pay for this.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said at the beginning.
Mohammed Atta, the ringleader hijacker of September 11th.
I have no idea if that's true.
And then he and Ramzi bin al-Shib and their buddies went to Afghanistan and met Ayman al-Zawahiri and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and got the job to fly the planes.
For sure. I would be very reluctant to say we know why.
Well, I think Terry McDermott interviewed all their friends in Hamburg.
What I do know is this, and that is that around the world, most people of all faiths, of no faith, etc., believe that what was done on September 11 was wrong. The people who understood why they may have done it and thought, well, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea, had everything to do with U.S. policy in the region, which includes our policy towards Israel and Palestine, also includes our earlier invasion of Iraq, the sanctions against Iraq, all of these things, our arming of the repressive governments throughout the region, our stationing troops in places like Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, all of these things have antagonized people throughout the world. It doesn't legitimize what's done. But if we're serious about making sure it never happens again, we damn well better understand why it happens in the first place. So I don't think we know, and I'd be a little hesitant to accept, you know, one set of interviews that said they talked about X. I'm sure that was part of what they talked about. I'm sure there were other things as well. It's a factor in what leads to these kinds of attacks. I don't know that we can ever, that any country, any government, any political force, any civil society can ever prevent any particular act of ultimate extremism. But what we can do is make sure that our policies don't provide people an excuse to provide support to people who might do it. That's what's key.
Right, of course. And as Michael Schroeder pointed out, the Ayatollah Khomeini denounced our culture to no effect for 10 years. Osama bin Laden denounced our policy to absolute effect for fewer and had a string of bombings and successfully baited our country into invading Afghanistan. So it works to point out the truth. Thanks, Phyllis.
Thank you.